To breaking news now out of Muncie, because the man charged in connection to the mass shooting there just appeared in court for the very first time.
Our Russ McQuaid was there in the courtroom as John Vance entered. Good morning, Russ.
And good morning, ladies. Yes, we're in the courtroom here in Delaware County as John Vance, the man accused of sparking the wild shootout that broke up a block party on the south side of Muncie early in the morning of July 30th, appeared in court today. He faces 5 charges, including 2 counts of aggravated battery. Those were on some victims who pointed him out in the hospital and said to detectives, "That's the guy that shot me out here in the middle of the street party." He's also facing a habitual offender charge and also a serious violent felon in possession of a firearm. And then yesterday, the prosecutor, as he explained in court this morning, also filed for an enhancement. And I added up these charges, could potentially send Vance to prison, maximum time 50-some years. Inside that courtroom, prosecutor Eric Hoffman, Vance was represented by a public defender, but he told the judge, Judy Calhoun, that he intends to hire his own private attorney, and Vance did have a handful of members from his circle and his family in the courtroom with him. The judge decided that there would be a pre-trial meeting of all the judges and a hearing in early December, and set a July 29th trial date. After court, we stepped out into the hallway and talked to prosecutor Eric Hoffman. He indicated that yes, this is perhaps the biggest, one of the most complex cases, criminal cases he's handled as the Delaware County prosecutor. As you can imagine, there were 18 people injured, the potential of dozens, if not hundreds of witnesses, and shell casings spread throughout the dark in that parking lot as everybody then rushed to the hospital to seek treatment. He indicated that this is a crime that has shaken the soul of Muncie, and he talked about specifically sitting down with the mayor, the police chief, and the community to address the wider issues of gun violence as they develop this case. He said this case is still under investigation, and he would not rule out either enhanced charges with Vance or other charges against other individuals, because certainly there was more than one gun being fired out there that night. Vance himself was among the wounded. I just had an opportunity to speak with his girlfriend, who was out there at the scene with him that night. She said he was shot 5 times, including once in the head, though he was quite ambulatory and in the courtroom, and from his jail clothes we could not necessarily see any bandages, but he did move freely into the courtroom to the defense table. She said while she was with him that night, she wasn't standing at that location. She says Vance told her he doesn't know what happened. He certainly did not have a gun that night, and he was shot as he hit the ground. He indicated that she indicated that Vance said he had no beef with Joseph Bonner, the man who was killed out there that night. And it's important to point out that Vance is not charged with Bonner's shooting, but rather the shooting of 2 women who then reported to the IU Ball Memorial Hospital that morning and were treated for their wounds. And this young woman said that she picked up Vance from the emergency room and was with him 2 days later on August 1st, when he was then arrested by a team of U.S. Marshals and Muncie police officers. So this is where the case stands at this point. Vance is still being held inside the Delaware County Jail, facing a bond of $105,000. He intends to hire his own attorney and then perhaps have that attorney argue for a lower bond. But at this case, there are no other suspects in custody. There are no other charges facing anybody else, and the prosecutor won't rule out someday enhancing those charges that Vance faces. Live at the Delaware County Justice Center, I'm Russ McQuaid, Fox 59 Morning News.